but the state would ensure that it didn't get to that stage where it became violent. So there wouldn't be an issue. Unfortunately today, and like I said, this is my humble view, that the moment we consider Islam as merely a religion, not in the context of discussion as the brothers rightly pointed out, not in the context of discussion, but if in our mindset we accept it to be merely a religion, we will have a lot of confusing issues, just like the one you were referring to. But there will still be people who will still go beyond the pale. And that is why in Islam, the justice system actually caters for issues like this. So that in a country, your lives will be peaceable, okay? If you try and transgress certain rules and regulations, you will have to pay the penalty. Now, in this country, we have got people who are killing innocent people unnecessarily. Once they are caught, they are dealt with. Why are they dealt with? What is the reason?
Well, they're harmful to the society.
In the future, yeah.
For what?
What is,
If I decide, as an example, today, we are in this country, the United Kingdom, this room, yes, and the boss here has laid out the rules and regulations, yes, the judges here have decided how they are going to apply the rules and regulations, the police officers are ready to pounce on anybody, and I come along and say, I respectfully submit to you, I was born free, and I want to be free. Am I allowed to be free? He's going to say yes to me. Okay, but that freedom I require is absolute. Will you give it to me? The answer will be a no. He's going to say no chance. Why? Am I not born free? Yes, I was. Am I entitled to remain free? Yes, I am. Well, can I be totally free? No, you cannot. Why not? You just told me that I'm free. But we know that the very reason this is all put down is for the very benefit of a collective, yeah, a society, yeah. Otherwise, we are all ready with the spears. I don't like the look of this guy. Kill him, yeah. We are told many a time in history, a guy would walk around, he would find a lady, and he thinks, I quite like her. Steal her and go. That's it. Hey, presto, job done. So,
in the country.
It's true.
It still goes on now.
It still is. Sadly, it does.
Yeah,
It does.
the gypsy thing, and they see someone, they take her.
Absolutely.
And take home, and then you got to track it when they want.
Yeah.
I'm really bad.
Absolutely. So you see, my view is that when you look at Islam as a totally comprehensive system, you will find that these elements will still be there, but they will be in a controlled fashion.
But then, if you were to talk about the Islamic State and you have the disagreement between you, and then you defer to the Creator, where would you cater for non-Muslims in this situation? So if you had a disagreement with somebody who was not a Muslim in this Islamic State, how could you both defer to a Creator if somebody disagreed with you on the sovereignty of the Creator in the first place?
Right. Hey, good question.
Excellent question.
You see, in the context of a state, if we say an Islamic state, okay, guidance has been provided also for people who will not or do not adhere to what we call the Islamic system. Yes, there are certain rules and regulations which the non-Muslims would have to abide by, because they are also considered as people who believe in a creator. Yeah. So if we take collectively the Jews, the Christians, yes, the Quran refers to them respectfully as the people of the book. Yeah? Which book?
Well,
The Bible.
Torah and the Bible, yeah.
Oh, is it the people of the book? Singular book, they are books in the plural. So, there's something else here, okay? It's talking about the people of the book. Which book is that? Well, there was, from the Islamic perspective, there was only one message. What happened subsequently is not God's doing, it's man's doing. So, if I, very briefly, if I take it from a from a Jewish perspective, sorry, it's mine. I'm realizing now it's mine. I do apologize. Yeah. If I take it from a Jewish perspective, I would usually refer to our friends to a particular aspect of the Old Testament, which talks about how there's a man, a prophet, who is going to come, who is going to be very similar to Moses. Okay? And then go into the details. Yes? And I will be able to logically establish for them that it is the Prophet Muhammad. Same with our Christian friends. I will tell them that, look, Jesus Christ came, he came with the same message as Moses did, and subsequently the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Logically, with the evidence at hand, you will be able to establish that. The question therefore arises, if from start to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all, if they all brought the same message, can there be different religions? Logically speaking. They can't be, can they? If you do divert away from that particular message, then they do become something other than what the Creator had intended. So in that context, Islam actually, in the governmental element, gives you the position where a non-Muslim would live under an Islamic state. Yes, certain rules are different. For example, I'm a Muslim. Yeah. Sam, what is your background? Christian?
Is atheist.
Atheistic. Okay.
Yes, atheistic.
As an atheist, you will know that as a Muslim, I cannot be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Did you know that?
As a Muslim?
As a Muslim, I can't.
You can be Prime Minister.
I can't be.
Why not?
I can't.
As in the electorate wouldn't accept you, or legally you can't.
Legally, I can't.
Why not?
That's amazing, isn't it? Even a Catholic would have a bit of a problem. And Blair was a Protestant, and then he switched to Catholicism. But you know what? We can't. Yeah, why? Hey, I'm a British citizen. Why? Why? It's amazing, isn't it? You will find that there's, going back in history, yes, there was an aspect of Christianity that had come in. Okay? Check this. Yeah, what I'm saying. Why? Why was there that rule? Why can't I do that?
Where's this? Is this legally enshrined?
Yes, it is.
No, I didn't know about this.
Have a research. Have a check on
I
it.
mean, I know you can't. You have to be a Protestant to be the king or queen, but I didn't know. Prime Minister to be.
Okay. Research that. But you are saying that you have to be a Protestant to be a king or a queen.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because of the Catholic plots and because of what we renounced Catholicism.
True, but we would not object to it. Here I am.
Well, we wouldn't now.
I'm a British citizen, and I'm thinking.
Actually, you can now be a Catholic because they've recently changed.
I know, absolutely. But the question is why?
No, is that? Let me just if you can shorten that. Is there a rule or is there a law saying that you can't become a Prime Minister?
Now,
if there is, just tell us quickly.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Just cut to the chase, and then let's get on with. He wants to know how would he, where would he stand?
What had happened was, in the English system also, there is what is known as convention. Okay, part of the legal system. Yeah, there is convention that X ought to be X. It can't be Y. Until somebody comes and changes that convention. Okay? The convention up to now was that. Okay? Now what's happened recently, atheists, yes, and the secular society have started arguing about this, just as they were arguing about a female prime minister prior to Margaret Thatcher. Okay? The question is not that. Those are details which we can, but the point is, was that there? Yes, it was. Did anybody find an issue with it? No, they didn't. Okay? Me, I can turn around and say, right, you know what, I want to become make this the Republic of the United Kingdom, and I want to be its first president. No, sorry, sir. We appreciate you are a British citizen, but you are also a Muslim. You can't do it. But why? Why? Tell me. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't want to be the president anyway. Yeah? The issue is, there were certain conventions which we abide by. Okay? Now, in Islam, where you've got an Islamic state, the non-Muslim is permitted to live. Yes? There are certain things which he would have to do. Yes? In fact, the non-Muslim in an Islamic state, on a basic level I'm discussing this, would not even be forced or even asked to join the armies that would protect the state. Yeah? They are a protected citizen. Yeah? Now a lot of people point the accusing finger that, they are treated as second class. No, they are not. If you look, as the brothers pointed out, if you look at what the evidence actually states, there is no way you can come to that conclusion. In fact, so much so that when certain areas were annexed by the Muslims, and a Muslim governmental system was put in place. Okay, these are historical records. When the situation arose where they had to leave that area because they had to go and fight another battle, they returned any taxes that they had taken from the non-Muslims, given them back to them, and told them, look, we are returning your goods because we now cannot protect you. And it is on record that many Jews, many Christians actually stated that we would rather be under Islamic rule, because they were dealt with very, very justly, and they were left to their own devices. They were permitted to pray the way they wanted. Okay, so we don't have an issue. If you look at Islam, it doesn't have an issue about how the non-Muslims would be treated. Yes, in terms of the Creator, the Quran clearly says that these people are a people of the book. In fact, even what we call the fire worshippers, because there was a group of them, a bit like the Zoroastrians, yes, who did that. Even they have been considered. So there isn't anything that has been left from the guidance of human beings. I hope that answers the question.
Does that answer?
I did go round.
I think, yeah. I think if we can
Keep
just very, very small, because I'm sure. Well, I don't know, I might be wrong. He's got questions there, and he's burning, and he's
No problem.
probably in the back of your mind. Well, how would you know?
No problem.
This was his question. How would non-Muslims be treated in a state?
Well, in a nutshell, very good.
It's again, it comes back to the Range Rover. It seems like this Range Rover that you were describing is fantastic, but then people who are driving it in other countries around the world, I can't see you going to living in Pakistan, for example, and declaring that you're an atheist and having being treated the same as your Muslim neighbour.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you. But
is that a problem in Islam, or is that a problem culturally or economically at the moment?
It definitively, I can tell you, it certainly is not a problem with Islam. Whatever the subsequent reasons are merely reasons. But I can assure you, in Islam, that is not the case. I'll give you an example. And this is the one that I had started off with many years ago. When I decided to pick up the Quran, my parents told me I was a Muslim, yes? But I never knew what it meant. I just knew that I was a Muslim, okay? When I picked up the book and I started reading it, and I came across this, at that time it was a very strange statement, okay? We were told that you just believe what you are told. You don't need to question anything, yeah? And I came across this verse where it was talking about the Christians and the Jews, and the statement read something like this: the Jews and the Christians claim that the Creator only favors them. Seek evidence and proof from them. Now I'm thinking, this is supposed to be a religious book. Why is it talking about proof and evidence? Because that requires objectivity. Yeah? Now, I'm thinking, even if I was an atheist, that statement is valid to me. Even if I was a believer, that statement is still valid to me, because this book now is telling you, seek evidence. And then when you read it further, as the brother pointed out earlier, it talks about, consider this. Do not the unbelievers see the heavens and the earth were one unit of creation? Then we clothe them asunder. What is he talking about? To make a statement like that requires observable evidence. Otherwise it is a pointless statement. Yeah? So you find there isn't an issue. So if we were in an Islamic state, yes, and this is from the Islamic perspective, as they pointed out, you would be entitled to renounce your faith. But then you would be asked, why are you renouncing it? Okay? Sadly, we find, as you pointed out, in places where people are being sentenced to death, yes? Recently in Sudan, with that lady Miriam, okay? She was sentenced to death for marrying a Christian. Okay? That's the sensational headline, okay? And the problem with sensational headlines is everybody just tends to believe them. Yeah? But you know that in a legal context, you need to establish what all the facts are before coming to that conclusion. Okay? However, that's not the issue. The issue is, were they sentenced to death? And is there a legal element to it which justifies that sentence? Okay? But from a Muslim perspective, there would be absolutely no, from an Islamic perspective rather, there would be absolutely no issue with somebody having an atheistic stance.
Two things that you made a distinction between Islamic and Muslim perspectives. What would be the distinction?
Yeah, no. The Muslim perspective, when I said that, as a Muslim, a person, Islam is the system.
Okay.
The one who adheres to it is a Muslim.
And so when you mentioned Miriam in Sudan, look at the legal, in terms of it will be justified if apostasy was written into the law in Sudan. Is that what you were saying?
No. Islam allows one freedom to accept and believe. It also gives you the freedom to doubt. It gives you the freedom to express your doubt. But it doesn't give you the freedom to cause trouble in the state.
Okay.
Are you following that? So, for example, I have decided I want to be that free person. You know that we were discussing earlier on. I want to be that free person. But now I want to, this freedom that I want to put into practice now. And so I go into the courts, and I'm charged with a driving offense. And I stand up and start talking to them about how the United Kingdom is a PLC. It's a public limited company, and as such, I did not sign up to the contract between me and United Kingdom PLC. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this? They are a group of people, they started objecting to the fact that we don't recognize the sovereignty of the United Kingdom. Now, you are causing trouble. And unfortunately, because the judges are not aware, not the judges, the lawyers are not aware of this, every time they go into court, they have to adjourn it. And there's a lot of taxpayers' money being wasted. But if I decide to become an objector of the state, and I start putting plans into place to overtake the state, would I be permitted?
She wasn't planning to overtake the state. She
Not at all.
A Christian man.
Not at all. Like I said, the ruling is there. This particular case, she was actually a daughter of a Christian lady who had married a Christian. There were two, a Muslim and a Christian. She was brought up as a Christian according to her statement. The question about apostasy that you refer to, and whether it is enshrined in the legal system in Sudan. Yes? What I'm saying is, from an Islamic perspective, you will find that the freedom has been given to you. Yes? If that freedom has been curtailed in any way, it is not Islam that is the problem. It is how it has been interpreted and your freedom curtailed.
So under Islam, you are free to
Yes.
renounce Islam. And
Yes, yes you are. Now, I will also add to that, many scholars will tell you, look, when somebody does do that and he was a born Muslim, or one who became a Muslim and then decided to leave, he is to be talked to for a period of 3 days, and he ought to be convinced, okay? But the majority of the people leave it at that. There is a lot of information attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, where the instance is a person came, he embraced Islam, after a few days he came back and he says, you know what, I don't like the look of this, and then he left and he went. Now that incident is recorded in history. The question is, when he renounced it in front of the Prophet, what happened? Well, nothing, he was allowed to just walk. The question I would therefore ask is, wait a minute, the guy has just renounced Islam. Why hasn't he been brought in to book? Yes? So you will find that unfortunately, as I said earlier on, as Muslims, we are just as prone to misunderstanding something. Yes? But because we have misunderstood it, it doesn't mean that the message that we have misunderstood is incorrect. It is, I would suggest something to you and humbly submit to you. On a logical and reasonable footing, there is nothing anybody can disagree with in Islam. Nothing. That's my view, and that's a very radical view. But I know on a logical and reasonable footing, there is nothing that you'll be able to disagree with. Obviously, if you go for the sensationalist idea, then you will disagree with pretty much everything. But if you assess the issues on a rational footing, you will find, well, that's not necessarily true. As the brother, I think, pointed out, that Islam is the fastest growing. Yeah? Why is it the fastest growing if it had 90% of negativity and 10% good? Well, actually, because these people decided to find out for themselves whether what is happening around is necessarily Islam. You know, when sadly the towers fell down, yes, the Qurans got sold out in the United States. You couldn't find anywhere. Why? That was strange. They've just been accused of dropping the year, and many people actually embraced Islam thereafter. Because what they decided to do is, these bearded so-and-sos, you know, these terrorists, what are they all about? And they open it. And when they looked at the evidence impartially, they could not help but to agree with it.
Is it correct that, I heard this, that there's more people from America then, that
yes,
more people have come into Islam from 2000 to 2014 now, that at any other time?
Yes.
Yeah, since the time of the Prophet, yeah?
You're right.
Was it 2013?
Yeah, 2000 to 2013, yes.
Yeah, 2013. More people have come into Islam than any other. And Guinness Book of Records had it in, and they've removed it now. Except it was showing up.
It's absolutely
2006.
It's not only that, one has to think. Yeah.
So it was just that
Every year.
Yes.
Every year.
I mean, you are familiar with Harvard Law School.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had an exhibition of the best statements in relation to absolute, I shouldn't use the word absolute, but to justice to the best of its ability. And they had chapter 4, verse 135 of the Quran in there.
Which is?
Because if you, can I just?
Which is
I'm going to.
I've got an
Thank you, sir.
Have you got one of these ones?
I've got one of the
blue ones.
Yeah,
The blue ones.
I've
Blue
blue
ones.
green actually, mate.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I don't think I got it from you. I think
I'll give you one.
I'll
I
give
think.
you a copy.
What's that?
You know what? These
Mohammed, just going to suggest something. In about 5 minutes, we
It's time.
just want to take a little break.
Yes.
All it is, we just do asr, just
Right.
to do one of our prayers.
We
We just do
Okay,
it
no
here.
problem, no problem.
You pray, because I don't know if
done.
have you prayed?
Done.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
I've
fine.
prayed as well.
Then that's
Yeah.
fine. Then Billah will just
Yeah, we'll
do
just-
it
yeah.
for us.
No problem.
And
We'll
then you
come.
can either you
Yeah.
can
We can
continue,
take a rest, no
or you can
problem.
have a break. Or
This
whatever.
is what chapter 4, verse 135 says. It says, O you who believe, be persistent, standing firm in justice. Witnesses for God, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Whether one is rich or poor, God is more worthy of both. So follow not inclinations, lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed God is ever with what you do acquainted. This particular statement has actually been put up at the entrance of the Harvard Law School. The question is, if it was just imaginary, why would you want to put something like that? Yes? Because if you actually read this, it is telling you, one, be persistent in standing firm in justice. What is it telling you when it's saying that? It's telling you that every given turn, wherever you need to be just, you make sure you be just. Even, it says, and for whose sake? For the sake of God, as witnesses for God, even if it be against yourselves. Now, how many human beings actually go to the police and say, you know what, I'm the one who robbed this place? Not very many people, but it is telling you, be just even when it's against yourselves, and even more, or your parents or your relatives. How many people would volunteer their father or their mother to the justice system? it is this particular statement is amazing in the context of justice. Okay, and it carries on and is telling you what you must not do. Don't follow your personal inclination, lest you are not just. I mean, if you think about this, it is dealing with the subjective element of the human being, something that we cannot read, yeah, something we cannot test, yeah. Oftentimes, you know, my atheist friends will tell me God does not exist. I said, well, in that case, you don't exist. He says, yeah, but I'm here. I said, yeah, but your mind isn't. I said, well, are you going to be able to prove you have a mind? No. Okay, it doesn't exist. Then you don't exist. Go away. But it's telling you very clearly. Now, the amazing thing here is this. If the Creator has created us, the Creator knows every atom of ours. Yeah? We can't deny that. But at the same time, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated very clearly that it is your intent that will subsequently lead to your action. Yeah? And that's what happens. We always start with intent. And again, if you look at that verse in different contexts, say for example, the legal context in the United Kingdom, yes, they used to use a lot of Latin phrases then, yeah, but they divided it into a mindset and the physical act. Okay, so they called it the mens rea and the actus reus. Okay, what is the mens rea? It is the state of mind. So you know, you will have, you on this day decided to rob X with intent. In other words, it was premeditated. Yeah. If it was on the spur of the moment, well, the judgment will be a bit different. So here, the verse is actually telling you ditto how you should be in terms of justice. So much so that Harvard Law School, and everybody knows it is one of the world's most famous, actually put it at the entrance in their exhibition. There were other statements, again, from what we call holy books, in inverted commas. The question is, when it is telling you to be just to the extent that you have to witness against yourself if the need arises, then one has to ask oneself, if there are statements like this replete in the Quran, would a book in which the message asks you to be so just, would it give you any reason to actually be unjust to people? My submission would be no. However, if you read, if you understand it, you will find actually it isn't being unjust. So, in the context of apostasy, yeah, we know that there were instances where there were people who apostatized, okay, and what they did was they took up arms against the state. Why did they take up arms? They wanted to change the situation of the country. You know, like my freedom, I want to do that. Well, even in this country, like I said, if we decide to annex this place, Bolton, and call it the United States of Bolton, or I don't know, what name do you suggest, boss? Yeah, exactly. So you will find, okay, that immediately the armies will be summoned. Get here. Yes, these guys are causing trouble. And as I said, as soon as they rounded up, blame it all on him. Yeah. But you know what? Will we get away scot-free? No. They will want to find out, each and every one of us, what part did we play. And any of his trusted lieutenants, that's all of us, gone. Yes?
Look at Egypt and other places happening now.
It is happening.
Yeah, it's happening now. All the brother,
right now.
All of them being sentenced
those
to death.
2 or 3 journalists in Egypt.
Yeah.
They were sentenced to 10 years. What for? What did they do? Well, it is alleged that they supported the terrorists. Okay, in the legal system, do you have a definition of this terrorist? No, you don't. Okay, so how did you determine that? It's a nonsense, okay? But what Islam is telling you, this is what you have to do. Conversely, Sam, the Quran explicitly is telling the human being that you are going to come across situations where you may have to take a life. But those situations are very specific. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, made it very, very clear as a principle that where you come across a situation and an atom of doubt is created, then whatever the subsequent penalty is for it, the primary penalty, must be suspended. The question, but therefore arises thereafter, is if you suspend the primary punishment, what are you going to put in its place? You have to have something, okay? And you find that in early Islamic history, there used to be what I call prisons, where people used to be put in. Yes, this is whenever they did something, yeah, they were put in. So you find that the system acknowledges that they are going to be human beings who will fight each other, because that is the nature. You've got to accept it. Yeah, it's like somebody told me. He says, if there is a God, why is there so much evil? Yeah, I told him, okay, there is no God. Why is there so much evil? It's a fact of life. It is there.
Just run that by us again.
Okay.
Slowly and explain. Just that in a nutshell.
Right.
It's very good that actually. It's just clicked. It's just the penny's dropped.
Because a
lot of people.
Emotional argument.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you saying that if people say, if there is a God,
Why
and we
is there
say,
evil?
why is there evil? So you turn it around and say, well, let's say
Okay, there
you
is no God.
atheists or people that don't believe in
Yeah,
God,
there
you
is-
said there isn't any God.
There isn't.
If there isn't, then why is there
Why is
evil?
there evil?
Ah,
Yeah.
that's a very good point.
Thank you. We have to try and understand it, but on an
I must have taught you that.
Thank you, Master. Yeah, but on an evidential basis, we have to assess it. We have to assess it, and it's that assessment that will lead you to what is true.
I think.
I just cut it. I stopped. Full stop.
No, I'm just for the brothers if they want to continue to, they want to.
You were praying?
Here or there?
No praying. Where do you want to
Here,
go
I
pray?
don't know where.
Do we pray though? I've got back.
That's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. If you
okay.
guys want to just have
No, we are going to chill.
Anything else?
Poor Sam, I can see he's
We're
tired.
going to, inshallah.
I think I need some coffee or tea maybe. Or
Just have a stretch out, whatever. Just by all means, just
Yeah, take
What
your
we're gonna
time.
do- what we're
Yeah,
gonna do
time
is,
flies when you enjoy yourself.
Maghrib.
Yeah,
Maghrib prayer is
inshallah.
going to be around about 9:48.
Yeah.
what time is it now?
9:48?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is.
The
Yeah.
first fast is supposed to be at 9:40. 9:30, isn't it?
No, it is
No,
9:35.
9:45?
Hey!
No wonder they were telling me it's nearly 20 hours. I'm thinking it's a no.
So either we
Yeah,
can
no
go
problem,
to
inshallah.
the masjid to
Yeah.
pray, and you
Yeah.
can join us and observe and watch as well. And then after that, we're planning to go, inshallah. Some, I believe, you like Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal is very
So
good.
we'll have a.
Yeah,
something to
Are you
eat.
talking food?
Yeah.
I'm staying.
So, inshallah, after
Yeah, no problem,
Maghrib,
inshallah.
after sunset prayer,
Yeah, we'll go.
have some food.
Will you
Yeah,
last
no
till
problem.
then though? Are you alright for that?
So,
till
I
then?
did ask some
Will you
before,
be
and then
okay?
so
So
you okay with that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it's
this
alright.
fasting starting?
No,
No,
Sunday.
It's going to
Sunday.
not tomorrow. It's going to be Sunday, and you'll
Sunday.
find out.
Sunday, yeah.
But you
That's
guys,
Sunday first.
Yeah, no problem,
Sorry,
inshallah. No
I was
problem.
hoping for it to start today. I don't know why.
I know.
Yeah, I was hoping it would.
Yeah, deal start. You get a buzz, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, inshallah. I tell you. So how many brothers and sisters?
I have one younger brother actually.
Is it?
He's grown up very quickly in the past 6 months or so. He's so I went away for 3 months and I came back and he seems to have grown
Really?
about 3 years. 'Cause he's just left high school.
Okay.
And he's not gone to college. He's started an apprenticeship.
All right, has he? Oh, excellent.
So he's an apprentice joiner, and he's it's unbelievable.
Grown.
He's
You
grown.
think what's happened?
He's physically grown, and
Yeah.
he's doing a lot of physical work. He's got bigger,
Muscular.
And he's got muscular. And he's shaved his hair. And
Right.
He's,
So now wherever you go, they will say your younger brother.
well, no, he's still younger than me, but he's it's strange, and he's become suddenly a lot more mature. And
Yeah.
we can go and have proper conversation now.
That's good.
Before it was always kind
Whereas before you might have been fighting or arguing.
Yeah.
Clip round the
Like you
euro.
do, yeah.
of, he's interested in girls as well. So
Well, that's normal. I think, thankfully, it is normal. Yes.
But yeah. It's like my granny at ease anyway, because she thought he might never become interested in girls.
Really? She must have had a party then. So what does your dad do?
My dad he's retired now. So
Is
he ran a environmental services company
Ah,
in Bolton for it was exactly 10 years, and he sold it about 7-8 years ago. He sold the business. 7 years ago he sold the business.
now relaxing.
So now he did for a year or so, because he deserved it.
Yeah, and then he
After 10 years
realised.
of not sleeping.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then so then after that he's got into, he's kind of into property at the moment.
All right, oh, excellent.
He says he's retired, he doesn't want to say he's into property, so he's some sort of
Yeah.
he wants something, but no, he just, what he's doing is he buys a house,
Renovates them,
renovates it, and then sells it.
Good idea, yeah.
But he's actually he's doing it in a socially responsible way.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
He's just bought something that was compulsory purchased in
Yes.
Warrington, and nobody's lived in it for 30 years. So
Right.
he's compulsory, the council compulsory purchased it.
Yes, and he's bought it off the council.
He went round yesterday for the first time, and I went with him, and as we arrived, and we got out and we were looking around, it's just been an awful state of this house, and we were, having a leave, and we came outside, and one of the neighbours came up and like, "You bought this house?" And we went, "Yeah." And she just went, "Oh, thank God." She was like, "We've been waiting for 20 years for somebody to buy this house and do something with it."
That's what usually
You know
happens.
that bag, Shabir?
Yeah.
The bag was a camera bag.
Is that okay?
Yeah, they can do.
Alright.
Yeah, I thought.
What's that about?
So we,
It is
continue.
about the things that we're discussing
Sorry,
actually.
1 second.
I'll definitely read this.
So yeah, what you need to do, obviously, what I suggest anyway, is do not skip any chapters. Try and read from the beginning
All of
onwards.
this.
Some things you might just think, "Oh, can't be bothered," but just stick with it, and it'll all tie you up towards the end, because that way it'll make more sense. If you know what I mean.
Thank you.
So I'm sure the brothers. Akidama wrote.
Can I have a present as well?
Yeah, inshallah. I'll get you one. I've seen Bilal left in Bilal's car.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Took me about 2 years. A book that I've written.
Yeah, I can see your name. That's why I'm wondering. I said I can see your
The
name.
title is An Alternative Decision.
Really?
Okay.
MashaAllah.
Now, alhamdulillah, we have had people coming into Islam through
Excellent. Good.
with the will of Allah.
Yeah.
But the main point here is people get that understanding, that
Yeah.
broad.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
used a lot of, you'll see for yourselves. also,
Yeah,
inshallah.
alhamdulillah. Good, excellent.
2010.
He signed it as well. You lucky
sure.
person.
You know Michael Owen, the footballer?
Yeah.
He's got a copy. Many people.
Really, you sent it?
Michael Owen, I was there with him,
Right.
and alhamdulillah, we was at the United game, and we was in the executive box.
Right.
He was there because we was in the same box. On that day, I took the book for him, alhamdulillah. So he's took a copy as well.
Excellent.
Yvonne Ridley, you've heard of Yvonne Ridley?
Yes.
She's got a copy. Few other celebrity type. Alhamdulillah.
Excellent.
and now
But
one more celebrity.
yeah, definitely. But you know,
Wouldn't mind one myself actually.
Yeah.
I'll get one from Bilal. Get that book. Out.
You have to.
I'll have
I've
to
been
go home. I'll have to
asking
go
him.
home otherwise.
I
No,
mean,
it's
I know
all
we'll
right.
take him all.
Next
I've been
time.
asking him for
Actually,
ages.
on the way, we'll go to my house and I'll get you.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
How
I've
many,
been
No
asking him
problem.
for ages.
how many
Yeah.
have been printed?
The publishers in America. Now it all depends because it's on their actual website as well as certain stores, Waterstones had it, and Amazon and many other sites. If you go on Google Books, you'll see of many other sites that will sell it on. But like I say, once you've published a book, you need a lot of money to kind of push it through.
Yes.
You know, marketing,
Yeah.
which I don't have that capacity. So I just do what I can do, and just basically it just rolls.
You start and then it comes later, inshallah.
But that's
Don't
it.
worry about it.
But inshallah, we
You
go.
carry on.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, we've got an author amongst us. I didn't know that.
Who are the publishers? Author house. They're going to receive a letter from me. You know my problem, I'll be honest, and it's a problem. I'll pick up any writings. As soon as I do that, I don't know why my eye automatically goes and spots
Spelling
faults.
minutes.
Seriously, it does. I mean, here, I just read, this is the, what is it, the first, second? Yeah, first, second, third. After Darwin advanced the claim with his book, The Descent of Man. Descent is spelled D-E-C-E-N-T.
D-E-C-E-N-T.
D-E-S-C-E-N-T.
It is supposed to be D-E-S-C-E-N-T, The Descent of Man. Descent of Man. Come on, you should have spell checked that.
What is it you do then, Shabir?
Sorry?
What do you do?
I don't know myself.
No, I'm not.
I'm still trying to work it out. Actually, sorry. Up to quite a few years back, I used to provide legal advice to people. After that, a private college we opened up about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we are still, do you know they call the bottom rung of the ladder?
You're
So
below
we are
that.
below that. Yeah, absolutely, we are below that right now. Because it is a hard task trying to get students. Yeah, because it's a private college and everybody expects, or rather it is supposed to be paid for. It's very, very difficult. And over the past few months, I have actually decided to reconsider my position. Yeah, and see, what do I really like doing? Oh, I like talking to people. I've been asked to become a lecturer. No, thank you. So, but at this moment in time, I'm not entirely sure myself, to be honest with you.
It's a law background is where you come from.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I would love to be a chef. But it's too hot in the kitchen, so I don't know. No, seriously, I just...
No, I've spent a lot of time in kitchens. And
Yeah?
it's very, very...
It's very relaxing for me. I love doing that. I don't know why. Yeah, I do. I love it. And when I'm cooking something, I want to make sure it's the best it can come out. And so I keep complaining to the wife that she never cooks very well. And she doesn't like it. Yeah, so that was a legal background. But at this moment in time, sincerely, I'm not sure myself. So I'm looking at options, yeah. Because unfortunately, when I was in the legal system, there were many, many issues in relation to me being kind to the clients and them not paying. So I ended up with nearly over 60,000 pounds that people never paid. And you know how it is in any business, when an income like that doesn't come in, you end up in real problems. And I ended up in severe financial trouble. But hey, by the grace of the Creator, I've got legs, hands. I'm still healthy. Okay, when I'm looking at a book, I'm thinking, why is it all going in double vision? Something's going on. Oh yes, it's age. Yeah, but apart from that, I'm not entirely sure which direction I'm going to go at the moment. I'm feeling quite nice, actually. Before it was always responsibility. Wake up. There's this file to work on, that file to work on, and it was continuous. And some of the clients were strange. They used to call at 1 o'clock in the morning. Shabir, how are things on my file? It's 1 o'clock in flaming morning. Why are you calling me at this time? Call me between flaming 9 to 5. But it doesn't happen, does it? So that is my background. Sorry?
Wasn't doing you any good anyway.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Forever.
Certainly wasn't. Forever
doing those things, yeah. It's on your mind as well.
Yeah.
What do you do?
We've got a pizza takeaway, and I'm working that. Prior to that, I used to actually work in Bolton in the marketplace. This is going back in 1999. Used to be in a place called Top Man. Used to be the manager
1999?
there. Yeah.
You're
Finished about
joking?
1999, yeah.
Really? So you took Pizza Island is from 2000?
No, Pizza Island started before that.
No, I know Pizza Island
1996
started with Rafiq.
It started, yeah.
Yeah, but
I was doing that as well as this. I was working at Top Man,
Yeah.
as well as
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you own a takeaway and you...
we
Yes.
own a takeaway in Blackburn, yeah, called Pizza Island. It's called. Well, it used to be called that. We just changed the name. It's now called Island Foods.
Yep.
So
You do more than pizza than that.
we do pizzas, kebabs, burgers,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
You also do frozen.
We do frozen
sauces which
pizzas
they
and
supply,
we manufacture sauces, chili and garlic sauce.
Yep.
We supply some of the
Stores in
shops
Bolton.
here in Bolton as well, and Preston and Leicester and so.
So there.
I'm getting hungry now, I tell you.
Eh?
I'm feeling hungry.
Oh no, Taj
I'm ready for food.
And Taj Mahal in Bolton, is it a restaurant or a...
It's like a takeaway, but that you can sit in as well.
Ah, right.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
very nice.
Oh man,
That's
I'm
right.
not
That'll
bothering
do- that'll
as long
do
as we get
wonders.
some.
I have found...
Well, I thought we were eating there first, so I went in and ordered some mango lassi. a big jug of mango lassi made for me, and everyone's like, well, we're not eating here. So I'd had like half of this jug, so I'm trying to get rid of it, and I went, I can't have a full jug of mango lassi. So I was like, just save this for us and we'll come back later.
That sounds a good idea. Amazing, I tell you.
I was just wondering, Sam, you know, what sort of, I don't know, what triggered in your mind to find out about Islam? Was there anything that you looked at and you thought, well, you know, why is this happening or why is that happening? What was it that actually...
Well, we were saying...
Oh, we discussed that.
Because I missed that.
I've just done 3 months in India, working in India.
All right.
From February to May. And whilst I was there, I was living in a village, well, I spent about 2 months in a village near, it's a small town called Palm, it's in Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh,
and it's where Andhra Pradesh meets Karnataka and meets Tamil Nadu, all just,
yeah.
And it was a kind of school I was working at that took students from all 3 states, simply because it was right on the border. So we had a lot of cultural and a lot of language issues with kids, because some were speaking Tamil, some were speaking Kannada, some were speaking Telugu, and there's no first languages at home.
Okay.
And so I was discussing this one day with the people I was working with, and I said, you know, do you get any issues with religion? So obviously in India it's quite bitter.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Want some more water?
No, thank you.
Do you guys want any water?
No, we're fine. I'm fine.
And so I thought, oh,
Is that how your quest began?
I said, is there any issues with this? And well, no. They said, no, there's not. They said, he's a Muslim here and she's a Muslim. I was like, I'd never have known, because you all live, work with each other, was no problem. And then after that we went, and never thought anything of it at the time, and we went to, they had Telugu New Year whilst I was there. I can't remember the name of it now, it's got a specific name, but it's the New Year for the Telugu people. And we did Ugadi?
Straight out literally as well. Yeah.
So we did. It's a New Year every week in every different village over there. It's fantastic. There's a festival every week. So we went round to this Muslim's house, and it was me and a few Hindus I worked with and a few Muslims. And then this goes on for maybe a week. So every night we went to different people's houses for meals. And then we went from Hindu's house, went to a Muslim's house, and a Hindu's house. And it was only when I came back I realised, you know, I've lived in Bolton for 19 years, and when I googled it, their Muslim population as a percentage in that area is about the same as in Bolton, and probably in Blackburn as well. It's quite similar. And I thought, I've lived here for 19 years. I've never ever once
met
a Muslim. I mean, I've met Muslims at school stuff, but I've never had a conversation
about
Islam. I've never been to a mosque. I haven't been round to a house. I've never had a Muslim come to my house, and it shocked me a little bit. I went, that's quite unbelievable that in India they're still killing each other, and they've still got problems with, especially because it was the elections all the time, so there's a lot of discussion about what happened in Gujarat.
Yeah.
I thought they're still at each other's throats, they're still slaughtering each other, but they can go around to each other's house and have dinner and be friends, and there's not an issue in most parts of India. But it seems like there is here. It triggered something, and we kind of go, I want to find out more about Islam, and I want to find out about, we hear about this radicalisation that happens in mosques and the segregation. I thought, that can't really be true, can it? But I want to find out for myself. I want to see. You can read so much. You can read you can read in the paper. You can read books. You can read the Quran. But it means nothing unless you go and connect and find out and have these discussions and see
got it.
Yeah. And also
on a
personal level as well. If I can take something personally from it, all the better. Yeah.
Good. Now I know. Well, I wanted to know what led him to.
Absolutely.
But what's amazing is that I don't suppose there's that many people in Harwich. Is there that many? Is there Muslims in Harwich?
No, there's not. But there was a quite a significant amount of Muslims at my school, when I was at school. Well,
this is the problem
they
we
were-
have, isn't it? I mean, we interact with a lot. But having said that, I'll tell you one.
It was separation, complete separation.
Yeah, but why? That wasn't the case when I was in school.
Not with us.
Seriously, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mixed, you know, with
We also
English
used to
people.
have fights with each other.
We,
No problem.
well, no, I wasn't.
No, there
that
wasn't. There
wasn't
was
a
no
problem
one. There wasn't. We never
like
had a
that.
problem
Anyway,
like
I
that.
really, we
Strange.
mixed with a lot of
Yeah,
people.
we
and
were hopeless.
I mean, even when I was working in Top Man here in Bolton, you know, a lot of my staff, and I used to sort of give them some information about Islam and talk to them about Islam. Whenever I got the opportunity at break times or anything like that, you know,
Yeah.
I
and
think
they knew.
sometimes some people feel as if they don't want to even discuss Islam, and they might not feel
Mm.
right to speak to somebody about Islam, especially if you're at school or something. They just don't.
When you're younger, I suppose you don't
Yeah.
think about those
You don't
things.
know.
But as soon as you get to
Actually-
an age,
Actually, sorry, you mentioned one of the problems that we used to have was when we were told not to even touch any other religious scripture. Yeah? We were told not to even touch the Bible when we were at school. Now, obviously, as a child, yes, you develop ideas in the mind, notions about that book and anybody related to it. Yeah? It seems like there was always this hesitancy in wanting to interact with people. And I'm being sincere here, we had no problem like that at school. We mixed with anyone and everyone. We had no problem at all. Yeah? But you do notice it. Yeah? I mean, you must be blind if you don't notice.
What worries
the
me
fact
is this is specifically, it's not just the Asian population, it's the Asian Muslim population
Yeah.
within the school, because the Indian
Yeah,
kids from the
they-
Hindu families. there was
Yeah,
no-
there used to be,
Yeah.
there wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. Like I said, sometimes it is as a result of not knowing what you are getting into. There's the issue of, okay, we have our values, which are a bit different from theirs, and the two shall never meet, as it were. Well, no, it isn't like that. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah. So it is a strange thing. I mean, I look at it from that perspective. But I have noticed one thing, and I'll be quite straight about it. If there were non-Muslims, okay, I would always invite to my house. But you know what? And they are good friends of mine. I've never been invited once to theirs.
Mm.
And I find it strange.
Yeah.
I think, why? I wonder why. I don't, obviously,
maybe a drink issue, or
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, one day I invited a couple of Christian friends. They turned up at the house, knocked on the door. I opened the door. It's,
a bottle of wine.
yeah.
You give them.
No,
give them
they gave me a bottle of wine. It says here. I told him, David, what are you doing? Oh, blimey, I completely forgot. Yeah, he turned up with the invite, yeah, with a bottle of wine. He was the first and last person who ever came to my house. And I've always found it, why?
Why?
It's strange, yeah. I invite them to mine, yes. I always claim I make one of the best barbecues in the world. So I tell them, come and taste it. But it
then
never the
also
other way.
there's the. Is it not also kind of an economic thing as well? Because when we looked at it, we thought, right, so we hung around with our mates. Which of our mates here, where do we live? It was all kind of Heaton, Horwich, Black Rod,
You mean the affluent
nice-ish
places?
houses.
Yeah.
Not particularly
Over affluent.
over affluent.
Yes, just
You know, it wasn't the millionaire
decent.
club, but it wasn't, it was all kind of, both parents were in employment, or the amount of employment because dads earning enough,
Yes.
or quite happy, just general middle class type, from the range of middle class.
Yes.
Nobody kind of, you might have one friend who, went every holiday went to Dubai or something, which
Yeah.
was really nice. But there was nobody kind of in our friendship group who lives on a council estate,
Yeah.
really struggles through life. So maybe part of it is also the fact that it sounds that sounds silly, but it's kind of it's a social divide that you've got. You've got social divides there anyway, but it's just one that's really, really plain to see because of a colour and an image.
Yeah.
Fact. Yeah.
It may be. It may be. I mean, it may be an element that has to be considered. Yes. I mean, on a standard scale, yes, we know right across the country, you have got the high class, middle class, working class. That divide is there, everybody recognizes it, but everybody is quite wary to mention it. Yeah? It is like me coming along and saying, brother, you are from which, where do you come from? He says, from that council estate. Okay. And move away. Yes? Curt, it would be curt, okay? But, again, as a Muslim, yes, the Prophet, peace be upon him, if he were to be measured according to the class system today, he would be the council estate one. That's what he would be. In fact, any of the prophets, okay? Because it seems like they always chose the lowest denomination when they worked, yes? When you have the kind of power that they were able to wield, one wonders why you would go hungry for days on end. Yeah, in relation to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was told whatever he wanted he could get, and he rejected it all. So in terms of class, etc., you are absolutely right. There may be that element of the economics surrounding the people, okay? But again, from a Muslim perspective, to me, I'm to treat a human being as any other human being. Yeah. If I was talking to somebody, and it did happen a few weeks ago, a lady was talking to me about Islam, and I told her, look, I'll have to speak to you later on. When I went to see her again, she was sat on the floor. Yes. I had no issue. I immediately sat down on the floor. Should it make a difference? Like I said to many people, if you had got a Giorgio Armani suit on worth £10,000 and you went to a wedding where they were all sat on the ground, what would you do? Yeah? They asked me, what would you do? I said, I'll take the jacket off and sit down. Yeah, but I would ask them, can I have a piece of paper, please, which I can put so I can sit on it? Yes, but it shouldn't matter. Yeah, although there is a difference. Yeah, when children are being brought up in a particular location, they are accustomed to that location, and almost inevitably, as you pointed out, you automatically just seem to veer towards the same kind of people. It just happens. Yeah. We actually tried an experiment one day. We were, me and my colleagues were sent as a delegation. Yeah, there was a legal conference of some kind. We get there, and I actually told my friends, I said, I tell you what, let's do what we've never done before. Yeah, because as you walked in, you could see groups had already separated. Yeah, I said, let's do something odd. Let's go to that group where they don't expect us. Yeah. And we went. There was an unease. You could actually detect that unease. Yeah? And you're thinking, why? There's nothing wrong. We're all here. So I do tend to think, yes, all these factors, yeah, have to be taken into consideration. But for the Muslim, he is supposed to treat every human being the same. Yeah? There shouldn't be this, I'm up here, you are down there sort of thing. Yeah? But everybody, as Irfan pointed out, and we agree that everybody is at a different starting point. And so these elements are always going to be there, but our effort should be in trying to remove them from society, and that's no easy task.
The last sermon of the Prophet Muhammad goes on to say that no Arab is superior to a non-Arab.
That's
no
right.
black man is superior
To a white and vice versa.
All
Yes.
this is human unity.
Yeah.
Is equal in the sight of the Creator.
Yeah,
And we
yes.
act equally as we would like to be treated. Everybody is fair. Treat them equal. And
Yeah.
that's the way it is in Islam.
Yeah, it is actually what you are talking about, brother. In Surah 49, chapter 49 of the Quran, verse 13,
And
actually
there was a time
says that.
as well where the Muslims were being persecuted, and some of the Muslims, Prophet Muhammad, he ordered them to go to, is it
Abyssinia.
Abyssinia,
Yes.
the Christian king.
Yes.
And he said, he is a just king. He is a person that delivers justice. And they went, and this is what happened. They found justice from a person who's not a Muslim. Why? Because Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, he also recognized that there are others who aren't Muslims who do deliver justice, who are just people. So there's no that we are Muslims and we are